Well, good afternoon from the Fantasy of Flight near Lakeland, Florida. Decided to make the trip down here today and check out these cool airplanes, and man, what to my wondering eyes should appear but a gorgeous Lockheed Constellation. What a fantastic airplane. Well, let's go and check out the museum. I was here many years ago, and you could see when the museum was over there across the field at the old location. It was pretty cool, but now it's over in this area here. I think they just do restorations over in that building. But you can see a gorgeous old PBY sitting out there. Man, I'd love to get over there and have a look at it. Okay, here we go. Fantasy of Flight, world's greatest aircraft collection. This is gonna be cool. Let's go see what they have. Okay, we're inside the Fantasy of Flight now. And here is this old German buzz bomb. Pretty neat looking device, I guess I should say. Pretty interesting looking. Over here is a gorgeous, beautiful, absolutely stunning Mustang and an old Ford car. I like the car, it looks pretty cool. This right over here, pretty fascinating car here, or airplane I should say. This is a Nardi FN 305D. Pretty interesting looking airplane. I just love how many planes they got stuck in here. This is really cool. Here is another Mustang. You'll notice that this is different. I believe this is a C model, or maybe a B, because it doesn't have the bubble canopy. And look at this big old Allison engine that powers the Mustang. 12-cylinder. Yep, this is a P-51C. But man, look at all those airplanes over there. Alrighty, let's move on. Oh, that's a pretty old car. I think it must be one of the old staff cars or something. Old Cadillac, about all I know about it. And this looks like some type of a German airplane here. Man, look at those wing attach fittings. Boy, if you managed to break one of those, you really did something. This is a pretty cool looking bird here. Look at all the cowlings on there. I believe they can open and close those louvers on the cowling. This is a Polikarpov. I'm probably completely butchering that name, but that's what it is. Oh, and look at the beautiful old Grumman duck over there. That was used during World War II for search and rescue. Gorgeous airplane. Here's a Grumman F3F biplane. This looks like it would be a wild ride. Now we got a 1931 GBY Sportster. And this one's open cockpit. Pretty neat airplane. And this is the Super Sportster GB. This is the latest and greatest model they had, and it was quite an airplane. Amazing piece of equipment. I watched this plane fly with Delmar Benjamin, saw him in Oshkosh and also Winston-Salem. Pretty interesting old fuselage right here. Note all the wood structure in it. That is too cool. And then you'll see over here is yet another GB. It's an amazing airplane. It looks like a 45 caliber bullet with a big engine on it. Let's move on. Here is a 1918 standard biplane. What a gorgeous machine, oh my goodness. It's hard to believe this thing's 106 years old. And as I understand, it still flies. There's the old B-24. That's a great big old airplane right there. Not my favorite bomber of World War II, but it is an impressive looking airplane. The old engine there. And this plane here looks so cool. Savoy Marchetti. Here is a old Curtiss C6 engine. Oh, this biplane, it's actually a monoplane. Gorgeous machine. I love the wooden wing struts. Wow, check that out. That is so impressive. This is a Moraine A1. Boy, look at all the lattice work on those struts and jury struts. And And there is a Packard V12 engine. And then here is my baby, the Corsair. Wow. Look at the big engine in that thing. Pratt & Whitney R2800, 2,000 horsepower. Something is really impressive about the Corsair. If you look here at the wing folding mechanism, you'll notice right down here, this is the lock pin that comes in. It has an actuator over here that will engage to lock the wing in place once it has come down. Here we have another Allison V engine. This is the V3420. 24-cylinder engine. Good heavens. And over here, this is a gorgeous Curtiss Robin. I've never seen one of those before. Heard of them, but I've never seen one. Man, would you look at that. Wow. And just for comparison, we're underneath the wing of the B-24. Let's see here. This is a B-24 cockpit section. See if I can get up here and have a look inside of it. Oh man, look at that. Huge respect for the men that fought in these aircraft. Got the first officer, the co-pilot and the pilot. And then you got a radio operator station. And then you have oxygen bottle over here. And then this is where the turret would be for a gunner. Turning around the other side, this is a B-29 nose section, and I don't know if I'll be able to get into this or not, but we'll check it out. Down on the platform, kind of give you an idea of what all they have in this place. There's the Corsair, the Robin, the B-24, and let's go down and look at more stuff here. This is the nose section of Fertile Myrtle, B-29. And apparently this must be all her missions. I love these great big twin tails on the B-24. Moving on, we have a 1932 DJ-5 Ike. Pretty interesting little airplane. This thing looks like it would be a racing plane. I bet that would be a hoot to fly. Then we have Miss Los Angeles over here, and this was a racing plane. Man, this thing right here looks neat. Tiny. Looks like it'd be fun. And that little white plane there actually held a inverted speed record. Here is a fuselage section for a Vultee BC-13. Looks kind of like a T6 of sorts. Not quite the same. And then here, this is more my speed. Old 172 cockpit makeup. And this is one where kids get into, play around with it, have a lot of fun. Let's press on. Here we have a cockpit section. I want to say this is an A7. I'm not really sure, but let's have a look. Man, what I would give to fly one of these things one time. Here is a ball turret that came off of a B-17. You had to be a tiny, tiny dude to fit into that little thing. Here's the old Jeep. Let's see what this is. This is the cockpit of a Grumman S2 tracker. Oh, that's too cool. Something neat is you'll notice up on the overhead panel, this is where your throttles and your propeller controls are. All your engine controls are up there. Now that the tour has passed, I'm going to walk over to the other side and show you some of those. I don't believe I've ever seen a Grumman duck in person before, but today's the day. It's a great big old biplane. I know they used this in World War II to rescue downed pilots. Here is a Hispano Suiza V8 engine. That's pretty cool. And here we go, the Grumman duck, J2F duck. What an amazing airplane. I love that Grumman landing gear. You see that on a lot of Grumman aircraft. So let's come up here and take a look at it from the front. Oh, that's too cool. Big old bird. It's another view from the GBs. This little yellow one is a GB-Z model, 1931. And check this out. City of Springfield. Oh, now I love these old airplanes. Wow. Look at the wooden structure. The cabane struts are wooden. And this is a de Havilland DH4. I think it's really awesome that they have this museum here to preserve so much amazing aviation heritage. I'm going to reach over and put my camera inside the fuselage. And as you can see, this is looking inside the fuselage of this plane. And as we come out, it has a tail skid and not a tail wheel. And look at the suspension on there. Got some bungee cords for suspension. Tell you, the people that built these airplanes were definitely craftsmen. Unreal. Always try to make it a point not to touch anything unless it is a touch exhibit, because just my hands and stuff like this on these airplanes can damage them and they wouldn't be there for anybody else to enjoy. But look at the workmanship in that wooden propeller and the bulkheads. I gotta zoom in a little bit closer on these bulkheads. Look at that. And they got two little wind-driven generators down there. The old Liberty V12 or V12 engine, yes, correction. And that would be inside of the DH4. This engine here is a Hall Scott A7A engine. Quite an impressive little motor. Now, here we have a beautiful P-47 Thunderbolt. And as you look here, here is the horizontal stabilizer on a dolly. And this is interesting here because the turbo supercharger would discharge its wastegate through here, which is pretty cool. Oh man, what a neat machine. Now the mechanic in me has always been fascinated with aircraft structure. And if you'll notice, these are the wing spar carry through for the attached fittings for the outboard wings. Here you'll see this is your main, upper and lower. And then you have the secondary, upper and lower. And I would be willing to bet this will be flying again one day. This engine is a Pratt Whitney R2800 as well. And that was a tough old bird. Here we have a couple of other engines, which I'm sad to say I don't know what they are. But the last thing that I see here is this airplane here. And this is a Supermarine Spitfire, British fighter airplane. One thing you'll notice is the elliptical wing design. Really fascinating. And this one is called, aptly, the Winston Churchill. Let's have a look a little bit closer. Okay, now I am in the bomb bay of the B-24. The docent offered to let me crawl up here and have a look, which I thought was just super nice. This is looking back in the tail section. And now, coming forward in the bomb bay, we'll try to shoot a picture up in the cockpit. And there is the cockpit.